If you're a student, Notion is a game changer to manage your courses, studies, schedule, and so much more. In this video, we wanted to show you our top 10 tips for students using Notion. We'll be going over some useful widgets, layouts, techniques, and more. If you find this video useful, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. So the first tip we have for you is how to do your layout for your student planner when you're using Notion. So it's really easy to get intimidated by this empty page. So first we'll add a title, student planner. And then what we're going to do is think about what kind of style we want in terms of the column structure. So some people might prefer to have 3 columns here so that you can see everything in one page. Some might prefer 1 column so you can see it easily on mobile. We like to take the approach of 2 columns usually. So first we're going to go to the top right hand corner and then turn on small text full width, and this allows you to have more space on the page. The next thing we like to do is add 2 columns. So we're going to type /column. And on the left hand side, we tend to add a navigation bar like system so that you can easily navigate within your dashboard. So we're going to type /callout. And add a callout box. Inside here, we're going to add a navigation and we're going to bold this. And then on this side, we can add bigger sort of dashboard items like your calendar, your courses, your notes, and so on. So let's go ahead and sort of plan this out a bit. So we would have something like courses, we might have something like notes, and we might have a calendar. So these are kind of the basics that we would recommend you to add to your student planner. Of course, you might want to add more things or even less things depending on how you want to kind of use your student planner. So here we might have /heading 3, a space for our courses, and then we would add our courses here. Then we might have our notes database here, /heading 3, notes, /divider. And then here we might have our calendar, /heading 3, calendar, and then divider. So the reason we also use these kind of heading styles is so that we can easily use these table of contents feature to navigate around the page as well. So next, let's go over how you would go about making your courses database. Courses are one of the best ways to categorize your student planner, as some of you might be taking multiple courses that you need to manage. So we're going to go ahead and type /page and then choose database full page. We're going to go ahead and click the 3 dots here, go to layout, and then choose gallery view. Gallery view is the best for a visual representation of your data. So we're going to go ahead and choose page cover instead of page content so we can show the cover photos. So we're going to click one of these and then we're going to name this Spanish 101, for example. Let's go ahead and add a cover photo, change cover photo, go to Unsplash for a huge stock image library, and we're going to choose something relating to Spain. So we'll choose something like this. And then what we're going to do is name the database title courses, and we can even add an icon here such as this one. And once you have that, we can delete the rest of them here. So some things you might want to add in a course database could be things like your start and end date. So we're going to go ahead and add a date. You might even want to add things like the room number and so on. So all of these are really up to you what you want to showcase here, and make sure to show them on the properties here, what you want to see here. Once we're back here, what we can do is simply drag the courses into our navigation bar like this. And then here, what we can do is add a linked view database so that we see the courses database here that we just created here. So this ensures that we have a safe copy here of the database. So we're going to go ahead and hide database title. And now we have our course database. The next most important database for students might be notes. So we're going to go ahead and create one by typing /page, and then we're going to choose database full page. And then for this one, we're going to keep this table view style. So we're going to go ahead and call this notes. And basically you can add anything you think would be useful for a notes database. So you would put your note title here. You might have tags such as study or lecture and so on. You might have a created time so that you can track when the note was created, and so on. So we now have a notes database. We can add an icon here as well like this, and then we can go back to our student planner. Now we have our notes database, so we're going to go ahead and drag that over to the navigation bar, and then we can type /linked view of database, and then choose notes, and then the table view that we just added, and then we can hide the database title. Now what we can do is remove the notes and courses here from the navigation, since we already have these databases here. The third database we highly recommend you to add is a calendar database. And to do this, it's the same process. You would type /page, and then let's go ahead and choose database full page. And we're going to go ahead and click the three dots here, go to layout, and then choose calendar. And then we can title this one calendar. And then let's go ahead and choose an icon that fits like this. And now we have our calendar here. If we go back to our student planner, we have the calendar, and we can drag it into our navigation, remove this calendar here, and then type /linked view of database, and then choose our calendar in calendar view and hide the database title. Let's go ahead and add an event here just to check what would happen. So let's say that this is here. You might want to add your assignment here, for example, and in that case, you might want to check off whether or not it's done. So we would recommend adding, for example, a checkbox, and then you can rename this done. And then if we go out, we can actually show this by going to properties and then toggling this on, so you can show that it's done. One more database that could be really useful if you're a student could be a task database. And for that, we're going to add another one below the calendar here. And we're going to type /heading3 tasks, and then /divider, and then /page. And we're going to choose a database full page. And for this task database, you might want to consider a board view like this. And we can add a status property by going here, add property status, like this, and then clicking out. Then we can go to the three dots here, group, and then group by status. And we'll show all groups and color columns like this. And we can call this tasks. So you have not started, in progress, and done. And we can call this task 1. And tasks are a really useful database type for students because you can navigate tasks which are both assignments or other kinds of study related tasks, as well as daily things like you need to go grocery shopping and so on. So let's go ahead and add an icon here. Something like a checkbox could be useful. And then we can go back to the student planner. So once we have our task, we can move also this one into our navigation here. And then we can type /linked view of database, and then show our tasks in board view. And then we can hide database title. Next, let's just rearrange this just a bit so that it looks a bit nicer. So we're going to move our calendar like this so that our columns are here, and then we have calendar and then tasks. The next really important tip is to use relations. So relations are something that's a bit complicated in Notion, but it is pretty simple in the context of a student planner. So now that you have your courses, notes, calendar, and your tasks, one thing that you can consider is to relate everything to your courses. So what that means is that you could click the plus sign here, relation, and then you can relate it to your courses. And you can show it on courses, add relation. And what that does is, let's say that this lecture note is actually relating to Spanish 101. You can actually tag it to that course, and then you can see it inside Spanish 101 as one of your notes. You can actually take this a step further and show this as a linked view database here. But for now, another option we can show you is to show as page section. So you can basically see a list of your notes down here for Spanish 101. In the context of calendar, you can also do the same. So you have an assignment here. You can add property, relation, and then what you can do is link it to your courses, show on courses, add relation. And now you can actually link it to Spanish 101. And then you can show it here, properties, courses. And then if you go to Spanish 101, now you'll see that there's a calendar entry here for assignment. You might want to show this as minimal so that you don't necessarily see this and clutter this area. Finally, tasks can be the same way. You can also relate it to courses. So everything you add, you can consider adding it as a relation to your courses. The next fun tip we have for you is to add a Pomodoro timer to your student planner. Pomodoro timers are a great way to stay focused while you're studying, and we have a huge list as a free resource for all kinds of widgets that you can add to your Notion pages, and we'll leave that in the description below. So you can actually just simply copy this link here, and then you can go to your Notion page, and then for example over here you can paste it in and then embed, and then you have your Pomodoro timer widget here, and you can actually resize this like this depending on what you need. You can move this around and so on, and you can go ahead and click start to start the timer and pause, and you can add short breaks and long breaks. So this can be a really good way to add some focus to your studying. The next tip we have is to use database templates. So this is a game changer for saving a lot of time. So if you always have the same structure for your lecture notes, for example, you can go ahead and click the blue button here, plus new template, and call this lecture notes. And let's say that you always start with main topics / divider, and then you have various bullet points like this. And then you can have a summary / divider, and then you might have some bullet points here as well. And once you have this kind of format you like to have in your lecture notes, you can even actually tag this already as a lecture, and then you can click out. Every time you open an empty note, you can choose lecture notes as the database template that you would like listed here. In the same kind of idea, one thing you can do with your courses is to add a new template for new course, and inside here you can add /heading 3, for example, your notes / divider, and you might want to see all the notes that are relating to this course. So we're going to type /linked view of database, and then we'll choose notes here in table view, and then we're going to add a filter, which is the courses, and the courses is this new course, save for everyone, and then you hide the database title. Once you do that, you can click out, and then we can test it with Spanish 101. So Spanish 101 has one note here. So what we can do is actually just click new course, and it should load the one note that we have for Spanish 101. And once you have that, you can actually even hide this one to change it to minimal, so you only see this notes database here. The next tip we have is to also experiment with adding all kinds of other things to your student planner. So right now we have courses, notes, calendar, and our task board here. But if you'd like, you can also add things like habit trackers, budget trackers. If you're moving into a dorm or so on, you might want a moving list. All you have to do is click a plus sign here in /page, and you can add something new here. So for example, if you just want to add your motivational quotes, you can do something like this and add them here. And then you could add an icon and put some kind of icon here, and then go back to student planner, and you can have a list of motivational quotes that can keep you motivated while you're studying. So this is really free to kind of experiment with. We do recommend these basic databases like courses, notes, and calendars, but you can also add things like habit trackers and all kinds of things that could benefit you in this planner. And our final tip is to find your style and just have fun with it. So you're going to be spending a lot of your time inside of this student planner, and as it goes, you're probably going to also modify it. And a lot of things you can do is such as adding a cover photo that really resonates with you. So if you want something kind of aesthetic, you can search on Unsplash something aesthetic. You can choose something with clouds, for example, if that's something that you're into. You can even change it to mountains if you kind of are an avid hiker. And you can really experiment with what kind of styles you can find inside of Notion that really matches with your style. And you can also reposition things to kind of make it look the way you want. You can also add icons that matches your mood. So if you want something relating to study, graduation, you might want to add this one like this. So you can find a lot of unique icons online. So for example, if we wanted something cute, we could go here for this one, and then we could go ahead and copy, save image as. And once you have that, you can go back to your Notion, and then you can click on the icon slot, and then you can add a custom icon, upload file, and you can add custom icons like this. So basically, we recommend you to go onto Google Images and try to look for icons that way that fit your style. Same with cover photos. You can also add moving elements to your pages as well. So we would recommend you to just experiment. You can also embed videos and so on. So try to have fun with this space as it's kind of like your own homepage. We hope this was useful. If you're interested in some pre-made student planner Notion templates, the links are in the description. Feel free to let us know if you have any questions or comments, and we hope to see you all in the next video.